You've laughed, shared secrets, and leaned on each other. But something feels different lately. That glance, that tone, people are starting to wonder. Is it just friendship or something more? You're about to find out. Stay tuned and hit subscribe so you never miss the signs hiding in plain sight. The eyes that linger. You're mid-sentence, laughing at something silly, and then you notice it. Their eyes. They're not just looking at you, they're holding you. Just a heartbeat too long. Not in a way that makes you uncomfortable, but in a way that makes time pause for a second. It's subtle, almost easy to miss, but it happens again and again. That lingering gaze isn't accidental. Psychologists call this emotional presence. It's more than attraction, it's the brain signaling connection. When we care deeply about someone, even in silence, our body responds. Eye contact becomes a tether. Oxytocin, the bonding chemical, spikes even in these quiet moments. They're not staring, they're staying with you without saying a word. And when you catch them, they look away quickly, almost like you've uncovered a truth they didn't mean to show, the truth they're still trying to hide. But if you felt this pause, this softness, there's a reason, and it's just the beginning. They remember the details you forgot you shared. It starts small. You mention a movie you loved as a kid, and weeks later they bring it up like it's their new favorite. You say you prefer tea over coffee, and suddenly your cup's already waiting when you meet. You laugh at something random, and they quote it days later. It feels like magic, but it's not. This is the kind of remembering that isn't taught. It's felt. When someone is secretly in love, their mind becomes a collection of your moments. Not on purpose, it just happens. Psychologically, this is selective attention. The brain, wired by emotion, tags your words as important. It saves them gently, like a melody on repeat. They don't do this for everyone, just for you. Your stories, your habits, your memories, they take root. Because in their mind, you're not just passing through. You're a part of them now. A quiet echo they carry even when you're not around. But what happens when someone else enters your world? That's when the quiet starts to tremble. That shift in energy when you talk about someone else. You're chatting about your coworker or maybe a new friend you've been texting. And suddenly, they're different. Their smile fades just a little. Their replies slow down. They laugh, but it feels a bit forced. Maybe they make sarcastic comments, or maybe they go completely quiet. Either way, you feel the change. It's subtle, but it's there. That right there is reactive jealousy. Not the possessive kind, the emotional kind. It shows up when someone feels a threat to a bond they've never claimed, but deeply feel. They know they don't have a right to feel this way, but the heart doesn't ask for permission. They're not mad at you. They're afraid that someone else might see what they see, that someone else might take the place they've been quietly holding in their heart. That shift in energy isn't about drama, it's about longing. And that's why, without saying a word, they'll start finding more reasons to stay close. They're always around, even when they don't have to be. You didn't ask for help, but they offered anyway. You didn't expect company, but there they are. It's almost uncanny how often they're available, how perfectly their schedule fits yours. They're not pushy, just present, always at the right time in the right place. This isn't a coincidence. It's emotional proximity. When someone secretly cares, they don't need big excuses. They just want to be near you. Your voice, your energy, your presence. It's calming, comforting. Even your silence makes them feel safe. They won't admit it, maybe not even to themselves, but being close to you is the best part of their day. And sometimes they're not even sure why they're doing it. They just feel better when you're around. You're their peace, their grounding. So they find reasons, small, simple reasons, to stay in your orbit. But there's something else you might have noticed. Even when they're near, their body seems to be telling a deeper story. Their body language is saying everything they're not. You're talking, and they're leaning in, nodding, matching your posture. Their feet face toward you even when they're silent. Their gestures mirror yours without even realizing it. It's like they're in sync with you on a different wavelength. But then, they pull back. Their hand hovers near yours, almost touching, then shifts away. They laugh at something deeply personal, then suddenly look nervous. It's like they were about to let something slip, but caught themselves just in time. This is the push and pull of unspoken love. The body moves before the mind can stop it. Psychologists call it cognitive dissonance. When what we feel clashes with what we fear. They want to be close, but they don't want to ruin what's already there. So their body dances between courage and caution, warm, then distant, open, then guarded. But if you've ever felt them almost say something through a gesture, you're not imagining it. And speaking of almost, listen closely to the words they choose. Their compliments cut deeper than expected. They don't just tell you you're pretty or funny, they say you make people feel safe. Or, you have this way of calming a room. Their compliments don't sit on the surface, they dig deeper, touching the parts of you most people don't notice. And when they say it, it feels real, like they see you, all of you. The things you thought no one paid attention to, they've been collecting those details in silence, admiring them, cherishing them. This is emotional idealization. In secret affection, people elevate the person they care for. They highlight strengths, character, resilience, the traits that matter most to them. But they don't say it too loudly. They wrap their praise in softness, in humor, in friendship. It's admiration in disguise. But if you've ever felt a compliment hit your heart, not just your ears, that's not casual. That's someone trying to tell you something without really telling you. And that leads us to the most powerful signal of all. The confession that's always on the edge. There's a moment when the room is quiet, the conversation fades. You're just sitting there, both of you present, real, vulnerable. And you can feel it, something unsaid, hanging in the air between you. They glance your way, they open their mouths, maybe they even start with, "There's something and then they stop. They change the subject or they send a message late at night that simply says, "I was thinking about you," but never explain what they meant. This is the final layer of unspoken love, the moment where desire to confess meets the fear of losing everything. They're not holding back because they don't care. They're holding back because they do. Saying it risks the friendship they already treasure. Staying silent protects what they have. But their silence is heavy, loud, full of meaning. And if you've ever felt like they were one breath away from telling you something life-changing, they probably were. What it really means when love goes unspoken. All these signs, the lingering glances, the small details they remember, the subtle jealousy, the quiet presence, the hesitant touch, the layered compliments, and the words they never quite say, they form a quiet symphony, a silent language only two hearts can understand. And the more you notice, the more undeniable it becomes. This isn't just friendship, it's something more, something careful, cautious, and unspoken. But what does it mean when someone loves you in silence? At its core, unspoken love is about preservation. It's a heart saying, "I care about you so much, I don't want to risk losing what we already have." That fear, it's not a weakness, it's deep emotional investment. It's someone holding their breath every time they're with you, hoping their feelings don't slip out in a way that might scare you or push you away. They don't confess, not because the love is small, but because it's too big to risk. Their silence isn't absence, it's a form of protection. For you, for them, for the relationship you've built, even if it's not labeled. Because once something is spoken, it can't be unsaid. And some hearts would rather stay close in friendship forever than speak the truth and lose you. From a psychological lens, this is called emotional withholding, and it's deeply tied to fear of loss. People who silently love often walk a tightrope, balancing desire with restraint. Their emotions are real, intense, even overwhelming at times. But the risk of rejection, or even worse, the risk of changing everything, is just too much. They've likely played out the scene in their mind 100 times. They imagine telling you everything, finally being honest. They see themselves saying it in a quiet cafe, or after a long walk, or during one of those peaceful pauses when it almost feels safe. And just as quickly, they imagine what happens next. The awkward silence, the changed dynamic, the possibility of distance. So they choose safety over clarity, silence over vulnerability. But make no mistake, it's not because they don't feel. It's because they feel too much. And sometimes the emotional weight of that silence shapes everything they do. They show up, help out, make you laugh, listen to you talk about others, all while carrying this quiet ache. They cheer for you publicly and root for you privately. They want you to be happy, even if it's not with them. That's what makes silent love both beautiful and heartbreaking. But here's the part we often miss. Just because it's unspoken doesn't mean it's invisible. Your soul feels it. You sense the difference. You notice the way they look at you, the way their voice changes when you're around, the way they almost say something important. You feel the tenderness behind the jokes, the sincerity behind the small favors, the care in their quiet. And maybe, just maybe, you've been holding back too. Maybe you've been waiting for them to make the first move, wondering if you're imagining things, if you're reading too much into it. But what if you're not? What if the connection you've been sensing is real, and it's been there the whole time? This kind of emotional connection doesn't fade easily. It lingers, sometimes for years. It shows up in unexpected places, in dreams, in memories, in quiet moments of reflection. You'll hear a song and think of them. You'll see a photo and feel that familiar flutter. Because love, when it's real, leaves traces, even if it's never spoken aloud. So what does this all mean? It means that silence doesn't erase meaning, that love doesn't always need fireworks to be real. Sometimes the softest stories are the most powerful ones, the ones that never got told, but changed us anyway. Maybe one day the words will come, maybe one day the timing will be right, or maybe not. But understanding this kind of connection helps you appreciate what it was and what it still is. Because love, in any form, deserves to be acknowledged, even if it's only whispered between glances and smiles. And if you're the one holding back, ask yourself what's really stopping you. Is it fear, timing, uncertainty? Whatever the answer, know this: the longer we wait, the heavier the words become. And sometimes giving love a voice, however quiet, can be the beginning of something beautiful, or at the very least, the closure you both deserve. Have you ever felt this kind of connection, where everything almost happens, but nothing's ever said? Maybe you've been on the receiving end. Maybe you've been holding something in for a long time. Either way, these moments aren't meaningless. They're messages, waiting to be read. So ask yourself, what would happen if the silence broke? Let us know in the comments if you've ever experienced this kind of quiet closeness. And if this video made you feel something, give it a like. Share it with someone who might need it. And of course, subscribe for more emotional insights just like this, because sometimes the love that isn't spoken is the one that stays with us the longest.